I'm gonna let you go first.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. So we saw Bob Marley earlier, and now we saw Madam Web, the 9:30 showing, and there was about 6 people in the audience, and I don't believe you're going to give this a good review.
You never know. I might have been trying to fake you out.
maybe, but this is the story of a paramedic who grew up in the foster system because her mom was in the Peruvian jungle researching spiders.
Yes.
And one of those, in order to save her life because of something that happened, these spider people helped her, and now the baby that was born from her at the time...
Wait, you heard that, right? Spider people.
Yeah, spider people. This is back in the 70s, okay? So this paramedic grows up with these powers that she doesn't know she has. And she starts to see the future, like 2 minutes in advance kind of thing. Yeah, this wasn't very good.
No?
It wasn't very good at all.
What makes you say that? Give some examples of why it would not be very good.
Okay, there's a villain, and I swear this villain does not know how to speak a word of English on his own without lines, prepared lines. Because everything he says sounds like he doesn't know what he's saying, but he knows how to say the words, right? He doesn't comprehend what he's saying. He's just saying the words that were taught to him. Because he doesn't sound like a natural English speaker at all. It's just robotic.
And very bad writing.
The dialogue is
the
terrible.
dialogue is absolutely terrible in this movie.
But every second that the villain was speaking, I'm thinking, oh my god, this is awful. This doesn't sound real at all.
No. Not like nothing. Everything in this movie was bad. Everything.
The camera work
is atrocious.
It's zippity zoo all over the place, moving all the time, weird angles. Is like, stop it. I can't see what's going on.
Like, this is the first... This director's been in, I forget her name, but she's done lots of things in the past. But it's mostly like TV work. And stuff like that. And it shows. Because this is not the way to film a motion picture. It is like, here's an angle, I'm inside of a door, and the door opens, and I take something out, and then I close, and I'm closed up, and then I'm over here, and then I'm up here, and then I'm down here. Everything's angled up. It's really, really bad.
Spinning, lots of spinning.
The action is really bad. The story is bad. The acting is bad. The dialogue is bad. I hated this movie. I'm choking on my words. I hate the movie so bad.
Like, there's this one point where she... Are you okay?
It's coming out. Okay.
There's this one point where she rescues these girls from the villain who catches up with them. And so she takes them off into the forest. She goes, well, I got to do some more research. So just stay in the forest here for 3 hours and I'll be back.
Yeah.
For 3 hours. Okay, they don't know this woman. She just saved them and brought them to this place and said, stay here for 3 hours. Then she goes and she casually looks through her mom's diary, and then she comes back with all the answers. She has to go to Peru.
Yeah. So stay in the forest 8 more weeks while I go to Peru. Well, I knew the movie was going to be bad when the spider people showed up at the beginning, and the camera work and the costumes were so ridiculous that I was laughing to myself at how bad it was. It looked like stop motion. It was that bad, where they jumped so fast from the tree limbs. It was terrible.
Oh, you could tell from the trailer that the action CGI was going to be bad when he's hopping from car to car.
Yeah.
It didn't look good at all in the trailer.
Oh, and by the way, if you want to see what's it, Dakota Fanning? Is that her name?
I think so.
If that's who you want to watch just driving, this is the movie for you. Because there's close-ups of her. The opening scene is her driving with somebody in the back who's being rushed to the hospital, and the ambulance is going like this through traffic and everything like this, and she's like, "So how's everything? You know, you shouldn't be doing that." Like, she's carrying on a normal conversation. She's not once turning the wheel, yet the ambulance is going like this, and then that's like traffic. You know it's bad. You know it's bad.
And then Dawn's favorite part is she has this premonition that this other ambulance driver is going to get in an accident, and so he drives the ambulance. He's going off. He goes off, and there's this big rig that comes and T-bones the ambulance. And then they do an aerial shot of the scene, and like 50 feet ahead of the truck.
Not even 50 feet.
25 feet ahead of the truck is like the ocean.
Yeah. Like, where was the truck going?
At full speed.
Like, they're on a dock. And this truck runs into an ambulance. Oh, by the way, if the ambulance were to keep going straight, into the ocean as well. Like they did not. Hey, you know what? I wonder if anyone would notice that these vehicles should never have been in this accident to begin with. It was so, they're like, oh man, it's so bad.
Now, if you watch the trailer, you'll see that, oh, well, the three young ladies that are in the story with her become superheroes because they have the costumes and everything, and this is, okay, they're gonna go do their superhero stuff. But that's not what this is. This is an origin story, and you see the girls in the costumes, but only because it's a flash forward into the future. This whole movie, they're not in the costumes except for a glimpse of like 30 seconds at a point sometime outside of this movie.
Yeah.
In 5-10 years, I don't know when, but they're not superheroes in this movie. They don't have powers at all. So the trailer is misleading.
Yes. Although the trailers were bad, so it's not misleading in a whole lot. Because it's letting you know right now this movie sucks.
Now, you know what? I'm gonna backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
Well, not backtrack. I'm gonna
flash forward, maybe?
No, I'm gonna back off.
Okay.
Of the criticism.
Okay.
Because I didn't mind the story. I think it could have been a good story. But the execution was just not there.
Take out the camera work, the action, the acting, and the lines of the movie.
Yes.
It might have been a good movie.
Yes, like if somebody...
Started over.
If the writer told a good screenwriter, this is what I want to do with this story, and that good screenwriter did it,
yes,
I think this could have been pretty good.
And a good director, because this was not directed properly.
Like, the ideas were there, and I think it could have worked.
Yeah.
Now,
and you know what? Even the villain, he's got to go.
Yeah.
The villain has to go.
It can't be him. Well, it could be the same villain, but not the same actor.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to go. At least the way he portrayed it. The young girls, I think they could have worked.
Yes.
With a good story and plot. They were acceptable actresses.
Acceptable actresses with bad dialogue.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, with a good dialogue and with this story, it might have worked. Unfortunately, they had none of that to work with.
Now, there was this point where they're in a diner, and the villain and his woman in the chair are using AI cameras all over the city, and they're trying to look for the faces and stuff. And they get a tip from this guy in the diner who sees them because he's reading the newspaper. And how he can figure out that these are the girls that everybody's looking for because of the newspaper doesn't make sense, because it's the same day. Their picture would not be in the newspaper at that time.
No. Not only that, I don't even think there was a picture of the girls in the newspaper. I think it was just saying 3 girls abducted.
But how could it be in the newspaper already?
How could the truck have hit the ambulance? We don't know. It's not bad writing.
Now, the YouTuber Midnight's Edge did a good video. He explains how Sony had this idea to make Madame Web like 10 years ago. And this is before the first Guardians of the Galaxy, before Ghostbusters 2016. It was going to be a female-centric superhero movie way back then, before we got all of the female agenda stuff.
Hey, I have no problems with this being a female
This
movie.
did not feel like the normal Mary Sue woke agenda. Everything, the force is female. This did not feel like that. It just felt like a good. Well, sorry. It felt like an action movie with women in it, and it was fine. It was good in that aspect. It was just a bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't do much for the promotion of female superheroes. It did nothing for the female writers. It did nothing for the female directors. This movie was a step backwards if you're trying to promote that.
Now, here's a conspiracy theory. Okay. If you make no money, you break even, okay? You didn't make much on your investment. If you make a little bit of money, then okay, you made a little bit of money. But if you lose a lot of money, you could do a big write-down on your taxes.
Except, here's the thing. They watched the Batgirl movie and said, that is so bad, we have to cancel it. Yet they released this piece of dog crap.
But could they get a big write-down on their taxes? So they, in a way, profit from it.
I think if they didn't release it, they could get an even bigger profit because they would have made $0 on it.
Don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if the strategy in Hollywood now is to lose money for tax write-offs. Because it appears that's what they're doing.
I think that's what Disney's doing.
That's what Sony's doing now, too. Don't go see this movie. It's not worth it. It is horrible. Everything you hear about it, and people are complaining about it, saying it's bad, it's bad. It's just bad. It's not woke. It's not this. It's just bad.
Yeah. A 5 out of 10.
You even giving this a 5?
I'll give it a 5 because I didn't mind the story, and it wasn't woke.
It's not woke. I'm giving it a 3 because the acting was bad, the writing was bad, the directing was bad, and the action was bad. And the camera work was bad. That's too many things bad to give it anything higher than a 3.
I don't know. It has to be pretty disastrous to be a 3.
It was.
I think a lot of people can still get something out of this.
Yes, their money back within 30 minutes of the movie starting.